All right, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to this edition of Dishing Out Flavor. Today, I'm going to be making my chocolate chip mug cake, and I'll also be making a chocolate topping to put on top of the cake. Just something extra. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but at least you'll know how to make it. All right, let's get started. Don't worry about me announcing what the ingredients are. You guys know, as always, I will list them either in the comment or the description section. Okay, let's start with the wet ingredients first. So here I have the vanilla already mixed in with the almond milk. Then I'll just add my egg. And then I'll measure in the oil. Now, like most mug cakes, this cake will total about like 3.1 carbs, but if you want, you can actually divide that and make it for 2. It all depends on how you like the portion size of your mug cakes that you like. So you can eat some now, save some for later. Or depending on what your intake is for the day, you can eat the whole thing. Now what's wonderful about this is that serving wise, as far as the chocolate topping, it's actually 0 carbs. So that doesn't even count toward the cake. Okay. Let's put this back on the scale. Dry ingredients. Also, you don't have to make the mixture separate from the mug. You can actually make it all within the mug. That's fine as well. It's your preference. Dry ingredients are in. Thing to go in will be 1 serving of Lily's milk chocolate style baking chips. You don't have to use Lily's. There are other brands, so use whatever your favorite brand is. Now with this mug cake, the chips will stick to the bottom of the mug. And if you're going to leave everything in the mug, then that's fine, but I want to actually take it out. So I'm going to spray the bottom of the mug with a little bit of olive oil. Move that around a bit. Alright, let me pop this in the microwave for 2 minutes and 15 to 20, possibly 2.5 minutes. I'll let you know exactly, but it may vary depending on the type of microwave that you have. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so the cake is done. I used 2 minutes and 25 seconds and just let the cake sit there to settle. Let the chocolate, you may see a little bit of liquid chocolate on the sides of the mug, but just let that sit. That's basically some of the chips have melted, and just let that firm back up. So in the meantime, let's move on to the sauce. Gonna have the butter in, get that melting. Okay guys, I'll be back once this has completely melted. Okay, the butter has melted. I'll add in the milk and the vanilla, as well as the chocolate extract that's mixed in there. Give this a stir. Here's the cocoa powder, as well as the chocolate chips and the sweetener. It's gonna go right in. So the amount of milk that's used is pretty much 0 to 1 carb. The butter, you guys know, is a 0 carb thing. The Dutch cocoa powder is a 0 carb. The amount of chocolate extract is a 0 carb thing, and the Molina's Mexican vanilla is 0 carbs as well. So this here is a 0 carb sauce. The only carbs that you may get, like I said, will be coming from the chocolate chips, as well as maybe a little bit from the milk. But the amount, the servings that you get from this will make it a 0 carb topping. Now, I have done several things with this hot chocolate sauce of mine. I have made hot chocolate as far as like for a hot drink to have. Just switching up some things, some methods. I've also used this for a frosting. My chocolate ermine frosting that I used on a chocolate layer cake that's also already been posted. I been did that recipe. But there are 3 different things that I have now done with this hot chocolate sauce recipe. The hot chocolate sauce, the ermine frosting, and then hot chocolate. And then today I'll be making like a fudge topping just by adding in a little extra ingredient. Actually 2 extra ingredients are going in here to make that. And this is all nice. Make sure the fire is low to medium low. Otherwise, if the fire is too high, the oil will separate from the chocolate. And even if that's the case, that's okay. Once you add in the last 3 ingredients and a splash of milk and just keep whipping, it all will come back together. Ladybug, go get on your bed. On your bed. I don't need you in the kitchen, honey bunny. Talking to my dog. Sometimes I like for her to keep me company in the kitchen, and other times not so much. Because she's a German Shepherd, but sometimes she thinks she's a poodle. I don't want to step on her paws or her tail. So it's the last of the ingredients going in. A lot of people always wonder what can they use to thicken gravies and sauces and all of that. My number 1 recommendation is gar gum. Not xanthan, but gar. Because it works very well in hot and cold items or meals or gravies. It works very well when making ice cream as well. So I'm going to turn the heat off and just let the residual heat continue to thicken this. Now it doesn't seem to be pudding-like or thick enough to be a topping. And I'll show you how to get to that point in just a moment. So at the very end, you're gonna add in about a tablespoon and a half, or I would say 20 milliliters of cool milk. And as you can see, it has thickened up in a different way. And as this cools, it will only thicken, and it will start to look very much like a pudding. So you wouldn't be able to refrigerate it for it to be a pudding. So if you let it completely cool on your countertop, it will become exactly like a pudding, and you can eat it then. Okay, let me get the cake because this is done, and I'll just let this continue to cool. Okay, so I've already put that in a jar, and this is the one I made the day before. Now I actually put this in the refrigerator because I wanted to see how it would be, what it would look like once it got cold, since it basically contained a whole stick of butter. Because since it has milk, well, it has dairy in it, this is not something that I want to leave out on the countertop because it can go bad. But look guys, it's soft and it's pliable. But it's only been in the fridge because I did leave it out on the counter the night before. So I only put it in the fridge like maybe 2 hours ago. But it's still pliable and it's soft. So now I want to put it in the microwave for about 12 to 15 seconds to see if it'll get back to the consistency it was. So give me a moment. Alright guys, well it did go back to the consistency it was when it was sitting out on the counter. And this is what I said, it looks like chocolate pudding. Look at that. Nice and smooth. Alright. So this is what the cake looked like down in the mug. Now you don't have to take this out. You guys really don't. But I'm going to because I want to see if the chips stuck to the bottom of it since I sprayed it, because for all of my samples from before, I pull the cake out and all the chips stuck to the bottom of the cup. I'm trying to see. Well, some of it stuck to the bottom, but majority of them are there. So I'll just put that there. Has that cooled off enough? I'm not sure. So I'll just put that pot there and put this here. Well, it looks kind of lopsided with the pot being right there. But anyway, work with me, people. Let's do this. Well, maybe it has cool enough. Yeah, because I can touch that. That's fine. Okay. So then we have our cake. Now let's put on our spoonful of topping and spread it around. go. Now, for the video that I released to show the sample of this, I actually sprinkled some shredded coconut flakes, unsweetened coconut flakes. That's actually gonna add a carb, or a half a carb if you will. But if you don't want to do that, you can whip up some stabilized whipped cream from using the Organic Valley heavy whipping cream, or the Simple Truth, and I get that from Kroger. Though both of those heavy creams are 0 carb. So when you mix in 1 gram of guar gum plus whatever your favorite sweetener is, you get stabilized whipped cream, and then you can put that on top of there. So it's still adding other things to your chocolate mug cake without increasing the carbs. Just grate some chocolate over here. That looks okay. So we shave off some bigger. No, it's not melted enough for that. Oh. I'll just continue to grate it on. Some chocolate. I'll take and stick 1 chocolate chip at the top of this. There we go. And it's done. We have our mug cake. Now, this video has gone on long enough, so this is the one that I made today. And then I have the one that I spoke of earlier that I made yesterday with, let me put this away. That I made yesterday with the coconut sprinkled on. I'm going to cabinet it up completely. And this is just a piece left over from yesterday. Now this is the topping that was on with the coconut. And this is the cake. Do you guys notice the texture of the cake? It went from almost like being a brownie-like up here to actual cake here. And notice, brownie and cake-like. So, I don't know. You're getting the best of both worlds right there. But what I want you to pay attention to is that it's not bread-like, okay? It's actually a cake texture. It doesn't look like it's a slice of bread. Look at that. that's totally cake texture. And it's just as soft, just as moist the following day. Unlike some of the keto mug cakes that I've purchased from big name companies that will remain nameless. And once I made the cakes, either they didn't taste good, or if they had a decent taste and I didn't finish it all, it was inedible the next day. I mean, that sucker was like rock solid. It wasn't good at all. This here is from yesterday. It's still soft. Look at that. Still moist. And like I said, it gave two different textures. Brownie and cake. What's not to love about that? Then you have that little bit of frosting on the top, and then whatever you want to put on top of the topping. I love that. Okay, let's go back to the one. Let's cut into it right on camera so you guys can see that it's still just as soft. Now I'll hold it up for you. Again, cake-like, brownie-like. Two different textures. So there you go. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. I know you're gonna love it because it is delicious. It's moist, it's decadent. It's not overly sweet, it's just sweet enough. But if you want it more sweeter than what it is, of course, you guys can add more sweetener into the batter as you're making it. So remember that. So you guys stay strong, stay positive, stay focused. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.